Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Welcome to Brilliance Business TV, conversations with leading experts in business. I am your host, Mark Stephen Pooler. We have an incredible guest on the show today, the incredible Goll Lerner. Communication is so important, and sometimes in business, I think everyone can get better at communication. So I think it's a really interesting topic. Now, we're streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. We're also on the E360 TV network. We are also on Business Innovators Radio Network. We're also on USA Global TV and Radio Network as well, and they are our show sponsor. We are also on mspnewsglobal.com, and we're on many more platforms as well. I'm going to bring in our incredible guest, the incredible Goll Lerner. Liz, welcome to Brilliance Business TV.
Oh, thank you, Mark. A pleasure to be here with you.
I'm really looking forward to a conversation with you. So let's get started with this show. So you're a communication expert, along with many other incredible things. I know you wear many hats. Why did you create the Enlightened Communication Institute?
You know, I found that people, both professionally and personally, were speaking only from their heads, not their hearts, not really connecting with what was underneath the words. And in business, if you don't know what's underneath the words, your outcome is very different than if you do. So that's one of the reasons I liked people to have the outcomes of their missions that they really want to have.
I agree. And I think, especially in communication, but also like anyone who's an entrepreneur or in business and any kind of sales, if you're doing it from the head, you're going to have a lot harder job than if you are coming from your heart. So it's so important what you're doing. What is special about your course, Enlightened Communication through Luminous Living?
So because people often mistake what they think they feel as truth, Enlightened Communication through Luminous Living really helps people understand the conversation they're having with themselves, where their saboteurs are, where their champions are. We have these voices that show up in our heads, and really what's happening a lot of the time is we're conversing internally before we're conversing externally, and it takes us off the path. So when we can look at those, I've created a 12-system archetypal system. So when we can really have engaged those parts, then we understand that we can find that actual true voice, and then we become the captain of our ship, not these kind of emotional reactions we have to people or situations.
I love that. I think you mentioned a few key points there, and it all comes down to being conscious, aware when those thoughts are coming in. And yeah, it's so important what you're doing. And some people do struggle with this, don't they, Liz? They don't follow their heart or lead from the heart, and they struggle with those communication skills as well.
You know, I think that some of it is coming from the heart, and some of it is being confused that what we feel is our identity, right? So
True.
A lot of we walk around, I am angry, I am happy, I am excited, or whatever, and really we have a feeling that is happy, angry, excited, and if we are not grounded in actually, well, I am a human with many ideas and thoughts, and I get to evaluate them versus be them, then we have a very different experience. Our conversations about our missions if we have a business and want to, have a contract with someone and do something in the world that's important. We want to be able to come from that captain place, that, not the, oh, I'm worried about this conversation place.
I think you've just said a few powerful things there, actually, because in my past I had really, really bad thoughts, and it's so easy to identify with them and take them on as your identity, as what you mentioned. And I think if you can get into awareness and being the observer, and rather than really like notice what you're saying to yourself in the day, and rather than, oh, I'm angry, like you mentioned, if you can become the observer and you can be like, oh, I'm aware that I've got a feeling of anger. It's totally different saying I'm angry. Oh, I'm
Right.
aware that there's a feeling, an emotion of anger. That's a lot different to I am angry. And
Yeah.
then you realise, oh, they're just passing emotions. They're just passing thoughts. They're
Right.
not me. If you can observe it, that you're not identified with it. And I think that's really, really powerful. Now, you began your work as an art psychotherapist. Where are you now? Your work encompasses the whole person, body, mind, spirit. Some might say creativity, choice, presence. Can you share a bit about your work and what that actually means for someone who works with you?
So long ago, when I did a lot of clinical work, like in hospitals and things, I really saw that people were focused on what was wrong. And through the art therapy, there's a lot of focus on the strengths of people and their own communication and their symbolic communication. Creativity is, a wellspring for all of us. If we can have a creative thought, we can pretty much have a vision and heal anything, I think. But for me and the people who work with me, I have decades of experience working with people individually, with groups, businesses, and I found that when we actually, figure out how to be the master of our ship, understand our strengths, understand that if we are not present in this actual moment, then when we have all those things together, we are actually coming from a position of power and integration that we had no idea we had. So that's what I love to teach people. I love to teach people how to be in that position of integration of mind, body, and spirit so that they can actually be free, live the life they want to live, make the choices that really support their life and their work in a very holistic and powerful way.
Who does not want to be captain of their ship? As long as we're not talking about the Titanic, Lise.
No. Our ship sails wonderfully through. We create our own still waters, but we also know how to navigate those big waves. And I think
yes,
that's
and the icebergs as well. So
right. Yeah.
Who does not want to be master of their ship, master of their destiny? I love this. And who doesn't want to be free, like Liz said? And she can help you to get there, which is incredible. Now, I hear you are heading to LA for Emmys Week and participating in Heather Mariana's Celebrity Gift Lounge with the new second edition of your book, Divorce Well and Thrive, Your Guide to Being Your Best Self Under the Worst Circumstances. Why a second edition?
It's been a really interesting experience writing this book and really trying to change a kind of the context of divorce in our culture. And what I found is that I wrote a book that was really about how to live differently and live well, even in transition. And people who read the book keep saying, oh, this book really is about living well. It teaches you how to get divorced well, It teaches what you need to do for your children, but it's really about living differently. And so I wanted to add something in the book that really addressed that because so there's a chapter in it now that's the chapter that's not about divorce. That's what it's called. And it's really about all the teaching in the book that people can take into their lives on a day-to-day basis that changes their relationships, changes their communication, changes how they focus their attention. And where we put our attention, where we put our attention, our life follows, right? If we have attention on something in a positive way, typically we're going to find better resources and have a better communication or flow in what we're doing. And if we put our attention on restriction or negativity or discomfort, we're going to land there more often. So there are a lot of things in this second edition that point to earlier in the book that say, hey, go back and look at this because this is going to change your life. Forget about, the relationship part is there, but, create your destiny here.
I like that. And is that available on Amazon, Liz?
Yes, the book currently, the regular edition of the book, which looks like this, is on Amazon now, and the new edition will be coming out in later in September. Yeah, and it will have a slightly different cover. Yeah, it will be different.
So, Liz, now this one. What are 3 or 4 golden nuggets you can share for the decades? I'm going to say this bit quietly. 4 decades. You have spent working with people at all levels of wellness and distress. So share some 3 or 4 golden nuggets you can share from those decades.
Okay. I believe that people get into the most trouble when they make assumptions. We all make assumptions all the time, yes. Every day, in almost every situation. So my advice is to check out those assumptions. If you think somebody's upset about something or you think somebody's, in a bad mood at you, say, oh, how are you doing today? Be curious. Don't assume that there's something terrible going on that has to do with you, because all of a sudden there's a story and you're reacting to the story that's your own invention, has nothing to do with the other person at all, right? You could find out they have a stomachache, and that's why they have an expression on their face that you think is about you. Okay, so that's one. Getting present in the moment. So I believe that people say, oh, let's be present in the moment, let's be present in the moment. The when, like they say what, but the when of where we are is, I think, the most important. So if we're thinking about something that happened yesterday, but I'm talking to you today, and it's something that had to do with you yesterday, I'm not talking to you today. I'm talking to you yesterday. And so our conversation is tainted by that. If there's something I need to ask you about yesterday, then I need to do it so that we can move on with today, right? Another really important piece is what we said before, which is I have a feeling, not I am a feeling, so that we get a little bit of a degree of separation, right, from all of that. And as you said earlier, you get to go, oh, observe that feeling and go, oh, do I choose it? So that's the other thing, choice. People don't realize how much choice we have in how we show up and how we experience our lives. We have a choice about how we feel. And often people can't even imagine that there's a choice about how we feel. And the last thing is, when you put all of that together, you can really create a vision of what you want in a situation, in your life. And that can be like in the book, I talk a lot about this, kind of like a guiding pole you can hold on to so that you always come back to how you really want things to show up and be in your life, right? You can avoid a lot of trouble that way. So there's a few nuggets.
There's more than a few there, and I want to summarise actually, because I think what you've said is really powerful, and I'd like to add as well. It's not just about being the observer of these feelings. I think sometimes it's really healthy to observe them, but also to feel them, because sometimes.
Yes.
We can push feelings away if they're uncomfortable or you perceive them as negative. But if you sit with them and let them into the body and feel them, that's so powerful. And open up and just allow and feel them rather than to push them away or reject them. Sometimes just feeling them allows them to flow through you, and they might persist a little bit, but if you just keep on allowing and feeling them. But you also mentioned being present and being aware. That's so important as well, Liz. But another big nugget, assumptions. How many times have maybe someone said something to you a certain way and you've made an assumption, and like you said, it's a story, and sometimes you can actually do it the opposite way and put a positive meaning. We're meaning making machines. So if instead of putting a negative assumption, always try to put a positive assumption, make it a good meaning rather than a negative one at least. So really good words of wisdom. Now, I know you help and support so many people, Liz. Who is your dream person who may be watching today, that one person that you would just love to reach out to for your support or your guidance? And I know you offer some amazing freebies as well, so share those with us.
Well, I always do offer a 20 to 30 minute complimentary consult. So people
and
can
that's very generous as well.
See, if it's a good fit, and I can tell them, give them a few tips in the meanwhile. And I think there are two types of people that I'm really interested in serving at the moment. Well, all people really, but the person who has been trying to shift something for a long time and just hasn't been able to just clinch it. My accelerated breakthrough coaching will do that, no question at all. I can promise that, actually. And then the person in business, or the entrepreneur, the CEO, the people who want to really move to the next level and are having some kind of either question about what they, where they want their company to go, or where they can go. As you know, there are a lot of things that people don't see because of these little question marks. And I think removing those and really getting clear, there's a lot of power in that.
If that is you, connect with Liz. Go to yourinspiredchoices.com. That's yourinspiredchoices.com. That's yourinspiredchoices.com. Liz, what a conversation today. I think you've shared such golden nuggets of wisdom, and communication is so important. Thank you for being my guest today.
Thank you. My honor to be here.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.